Okay, so let's look at the standard normal distribution. So what do I mean by that? Well, this is basically a normal distribution that has z-scores along the bottom. Okay, so it'll have 0, and then it'll have 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. Okay, and along the bottom, these are called z-scores. So sometimes this is called the z distribution. So, excuse me, there's probably no population that actually fits this z-score along the bottom. So populations usually are certain observations like heights or weights or the time it takes to do something. They're different observations, but those observations correspond to z-scores, and as it turns out, every normal distribution has the same percentages under them relative to their z-scores. So you really only need one normal table, and then you can find percentages under the normal distribution. And so this is a normal table here, and basically what you have here is two sides. Okay, this side is the negative side, and you can see that these are all negative. This first column here is negative, and this is the positive side, and this column is positive. Okay. Also on the negative side, what you see here is you see the z-score is below 0, and that would be a negative z-score. Up here, the z-score is above 0, and that would be a positive z-score. Okay, and so let me show you first how to look up a z-score on the table, and then let me explain to you what it is that we're finding. Okay, so the z-score I'm going to look up is -1.34. Okay, so let's see here. I have this. I want to say no. Something came up on my thing. Okay, sorry about that. So to look this up on the table, I'm going to go on the negative side because it's a negative z-score, and down this column I'm going to look for -1.3. Okay, so let me show you on here. So you have your table, and you're going to go down this column till you get to -1.3. And so what you're doing is you're looking up the ones place and the tenths place here in this column, and then the hundredths place, that 4 there, you're going to look the 4 up across the top, and you're going to find 0.04 standing for 400ths. For 400ths. So where this row and this column intersect, you're going to get a 4-digit decimal number. So let me show you on here. So -1.3, 0.04, these intersect at this number right here, and that number is 0.0901. So the number I get is 0.0901. Okay, so that's how you look up a z-score, and this is the number that I get on the table for that z-score. So now let me explain to you what that z-score, or what this 4-digit number is. Okay, so here's my normal distribution. There's 0 in the center. And then the -1.34 would be below the mean, maybe about there. Okay, because it's like 1, 2, 3 standard deviations below. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's kind of about where it would be. And so what this number represents is it's going to be the percent, this is the decimal form of the percent of the population that lie below this particular z-score. Okay, so this is like 0.0901, and what that means is 9.01% of the population would have z-scores that are less than negative 1.34. Okay, so for example, the height of adult males right here, negative 1.34 would be like right about here, and then this area here, it would be like 9.01% of the entire population. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're getting a percentage from 0 to 100%. So way over here would be 0, all the way up above would be 100%. So, but they're giving it to you as decimal numbers, like 0 to 1. So the lowest number on the table for like negative 3.49 is like 0.0002 or something like that. And the highest point is 0.9998. So the table, what it's going to give you is it will always give you the area that lies below the z-score. It'll always give you, okay, I'll call them areas oftentimes, but the area is just the decimal form of the percent. So it'll always give you the area or the decimal form of the percent that lies below whatever z-score you look up. Okay, so let me give you another example. So let's say here's 0 and 2.76. So my z-score is going to be 2.76. So that's like way up here, isn't it? 2.76. Okay. So now when I look this up on the table, when I look this z-score up, it's going to give me all this area below. So that'll be the percent of the population that has z-scores less than that. Okay? So to look this up, I need to be on the positive side, and I'm going to go to like 2.7, 0.06. So it'd be like this. I'm going to go down till I get to like 2.7, go over till I get to like 0.06, and then where this row and this column intersect, I get a 4-digit number. So in this case, 2.7, 0.06. Where these two intersect, I get 0.9971. 0.9971. Okay, so that's this area here, 0.9971. And the area is just the decimal form of the percent. So the percent here is 99.71%. So basically, the percent of the population that lies below this particular z-score is 99.71% of the population. So that's pretty much all of the population, right? And that kind of makes sense, that pretty much all of the population would lie below this particular z-score, because that's so extreme up here above. So if you look it up, you get 99.71% of the population. Okay, so this will always give you the area below. It doesn't give you the area above, it gives you the area below. So in the next video, we're going to see what you do if you want other areas, but it's always going to start by getting this area below. Okay, so let me give you one to do. We'll say a z-score of 0.84. Why don't you draw a diagram and then see if you can find the area on the table. Okay, so go ahead, hit pause, and then start it back up again and see how you do. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. 0 is in the center. This is positive, so it's up above, but it's not even one full standard deviation, so it'll be closer to 0. So 0.84 would be right there. And then I'm going to get this area below that. Notice the area below the mean would be like 0.5000, like 50%, right? So this has to be more than 50%. So I'm going to look here. I'm going to be on my positive side, 0.8, and then 0.04, and I get 0.9 or 0.7995. So this would be 0.7995, and that would be 79.95% of the population would have a z-score less than 0.84. Okay, so that gives you the amount of the population then that has a z-score less than this, 0.84. All of these values here. Okay, so that gives you an idea how this table is used. When you look up a z-score, you're always going to get the area from that z-score all the way down. Okay, and that area will be a 4-digit decimal from 0 to 1, and it's really the decimal form of the percent of population that lies below that z-score. So in the next video, we're going to look at 3 different cases that can occur when using this table and how to do each one.